to Beyond the Board, where we break bread with some of the most interesting industry leaders. I'm Alyssa Vesho, Senior Vice President at Whole Foods Market, and I'm honored to host in-depth conversations with some of the most innovative and impactful leaders across the food industry. Today, we welcome Alex Snodgrass, founder of SideDish and the creative force behind the Defined Dish. What started as a food blog has evolved into a culinary empire with multiple best-selling cookbooks and millions of followers across social media. Alex's approach to healthy, flavorful cooking has transformed how many of us think about preparing meals at home. And I'm excited to dive into her journey from food blogger to culinary entrepreneur. So Alex, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to dive into your story.
I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. So I understand that your career in food blogging, it really started post-pregnancy when you were recreating family recipes to fit the Whole30 diet. So can you share a little bit about the beginning stages of blogging and how that process worked for you?
Yeah, well, I've always loved food and was always like that friend that was making recipes. And my friends would be like, oh, how'd you make this? And so after I had my daughter, my first, I found myself, I was kind of going into the family real estate business, but I just was really itching to do something more creative on the side. And I kind of did it with my sister as a hobby, starting off just to share recipes. It was actually a sister duo blog where she was sharing fitness tips and I was going to share recipes. And long story short, we did it as a hobby for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I really fell in love with the process. And I thought, well, I might as well try to monetize this and turn it into a business. And so when she decided she didn't want to do it anymore, I really kind of pivoted and put a lot more emphasis on really trying to turn it into a business. And kind of in that meantime, I was struggling with some postpartum stuff and I wasn't feeling my best. And my sister had encouraged me to try a Whole30 because she had done one. And when I was doing that, because I love food so much, I think about food all the time and flavors. You know, some people are like grilled chicken, broccoli, and like, here's your other vegetable. I was like, how can I recreate like a gumbo, or how can I make chicken fried steak and make it within, I was bending the rules a little bit. And so I really found that I had a knack for that. And then, so people really started to find me through those types of creative recipes. And it was kind of the perfect storm.
Oh my gosh, so many questions. Yes. I love it. How old is your daughter now?
Now she's 12.
Okay.
She's about to go to 7th grade.
Wow.
So this is when she was little.
Okay. So 12 years.
Yes.
And what does your sister think? Did she have any idea
where
all this would head?
No, I don't think any of us did, to be honest. And so she was getting married and she was like, this is not my cup of tea. And it was really kind of turning pretty food focused pretty quickly. And that's just not where her head was at. So I think we're all kind of surprised and excited by the success of the Defined Dish.
Yeah.
But it was just really good timing. I think also how much effort I was putting into building a community. I was super consistent about how I shared recipes, but then also Instagram stories came out right at the same time that I was doing all this. So I was able to connect deeper with my community, which was a more authentic way for me to share. Because before it was just pictures of food and then driving traffic, and I wasn't letting them know who I was behind the scenes. And so it was a really natural way for me to do that. Yeah. And so when that all that perfect storm happened, the community just really built and everyone was sharing with their friends. Word of mouth is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And then here we are. And then I got my book deal and the rest is kind of all fallen into place with a lot of hard work and effort as well.
Yeah. I mean, clearly the Defined Dish has exploded in popularity. Along that journey, was there a tipping point when you decided, okay, this is definitely more than a hobby?
Yes. Well, I kind of gave myself a year whenever I was like, I'm going to really go all in. Because my husband kind of saw me, we had talked about it, and I was like at night cooking, and then I'd have like a light box to try to take a picture. I was doing all the things. Now I outsource a lot of these things, but I was, it was a one-stop shop, and I was the only person behind the scenes doing it all. And I was learning about food photography, just trying my best to wear all the hats. And, I was spending a lot of time in the evenings doing all this. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a year. And then otherwise, like, if this isn't working, I'm just spending so much time kind of like when I am in the evenings with my kids trying to make this all happen. And that year kind of was whenever I could tell I had some momentum. And so then I stopped doing everything else and really just shifted focus on my food blog.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned also getting a book deal for the cookbook.
Yes.
I mean, obviously there are a lot of cookbooks out there. It's a crowded market. What do you think like really resonated with people and set yours apart?
It's so crazy. I ask myself this all the time. And I know whenever I got my book deal, I had that, a little bit of an imposter syndrome going. There's so many like amazing classically trained chefs, and there's all these incredible cooks out there. And I just kind of reminded myself, like, that's not what people are coming to me for. Like, I'm not Bobby Flay, but I do have something to offer the home cook. Just these really simple recipes that are straightforward and approachable. And so I tried not to try too hard and really stick to like what people were already coming to me for on my blog, and try not to get overly fancy with it. But still have fun with flavors and stuff. So I really think that people find just the simplicity in my recipes approachable to them. And whether you're an advanced cook and you just want something easy on a Wednesday night, or if you're someone that's never cooked before to try to like get into cooking, I think I kind of meet people where they are.
Yeah. And I mean, it sounds like kind of family and simplicity and accessibility were a key part of developing those recipes.
Yes.
I'd love to hear, like, what does your development process look like? How do you come up with an idea? How do you transform it into a recipe?
Yes. I mean, now I have it laid out like a business, and it's such a process, but I'm constantly getting inspired. But I really think about the whole year, and I have a spreadsheet, and I outsource all the photography. So I have to kind of have recipes buttoned up, tested, and ready to go before it goes to the photographer to shoot it all. And she lives in the UK.
Oh,
Sasha's amazing.
That's a long way to travel.
Yeah. So I will upload the recipe and I'll take a picture with my phone, but then she styles it beautifully, and she and her husband cook it and make it. But anyways, I'm always thinking ahead of time. And so I'm kind of thinking, for October, I always do like a soup week, and I'll do 5 new soup recipes, but also there's game day recipes. So I'm always thinking about kind of these seasonal recipes and what people are going to be looking for at that time. And, of course, the holidays are pretty straightforward. But then if there's a month that's kind of random, I'm like, easy weeknight dinners are always what people really come to me for. But the recipe process is me testing. I'm usually about 3 months ahead of time. Like right now, I'm working on recipes for November and December in my kitchen. And then they'll get tested, and then they'll go to Sasha. She photographs them, and then they'll come back. And that's whenever I film stuff for social media. And then when it gets closer to time, we kind of unleash it on the blog, on social, and do all the things around, now you do toe touches every time you do a recipe. Before it was just like, here's a recipe. Now there's a lot more of the social media aspect that goes into it. So we kind of have a system in place that really works for me, and it's fun. It helps me kind of think ahead and get super excited about new seasons and thinking about what people are looking for.
You touched on this a little bit, but I'm curious, how have things evolved? Like, have you always been so buttoned up in your process?
No. But like whenever I started, I was taking pictures with like my camera at night with my light box, and I was posting like whatever I made, I was posting like pretty shortly after, like the next day or 2 days after. I wasn't testing. My recipe writing skills like were very loose. I have had to go back and like, after I wrote a cookbook and had an editor, read everything, I got butchered. They were like, none of, like, you said half an onion. Like, is it a large onion? Is it a small onion? Like, you need to, so now I break it down. It is so scientific. We have like everything down very, very, I try to get it to where there is very little room for error. And before, there was probably a lot of room for error, and I didn't even realize it. Luckily, my recipes are simple enough where I think most people can still figure it out, and people were still making them. But now it's tight where I know the room for error is not there.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Makes it a little more foolproof.
Yes, exactly.
Talk to us about the transition then from blogger and recipe creator, cookbook author, to being a founder.
Yes.
Of a CPG brand. Like, how did that come to be?
Oh man, that's been a whole journey, but I had always wanted to do a product line. And as a creator online and someone with successful books, I was getting some opportunities coming my way from other brands to like do a couple sauces or do a line of spices and things of that nature. And when I really broke it down, it was tricky to do the exact flavor profile that I wanted and just the quality control that really wanted to do in a product and making sure it kind of was in line with what I was looking for as a consumer. And so I was like, one day I'll get to it and I'll spend the time on making my own product line. But like, this was years and years ago. And so I guess it's been about 3 years now. We finally, well, really 4 years when we like really decided to found the company and get going. It was just kind of time. And I'd always had it in the back of my head. And I was like, all right, we're going to just do this now. But it's been a very big learning curve.
Yeah. Like
it has not been easy, but it's been so fun and definitely putting me outside of the comfort zone. And CPG is tough. I mean, you can have a good product and, you know, the excitement and passion behind your brand, but there's just so much more that goes into it. And I've been learning that as I go.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges that you've encountered along the way?
Not knowing what the heck I'm doing.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty big challenge.
Yes, for sure. But, you know, I think originally I was like, oh, it can just be online because my world was just so virtual other than my cookbooks. And I quickly realized that as a consumer, I shop in a grocery store. Like we need to be in retail. And so we obviously pivoted and have been really focused on growing our retail, especially with you guys, which has been so great. And really we're trying to get our prices down right now and just kind of growing our footprint here really so that people come to us for all the best salad dressings. Yeah.
Well, and you touched on the importance of working with a retailer. What role has Whole Foods Market played in the journey?
I mean, it's been so huge for y'all have been the best partner. And I feel like Whole Foods is the perfect partner for a brand like us because what y'all care about in your products and you keep us, what's the right word? Humble in how we create our products too. And so your shopper and your consumer wants what we're putting out too. And so it's been really fun to be able to be in your store because the people that shop in Whole Foods are going to appreciate what we care about in the ingredient list on our products and what I care about as a consumer as well. And for me, I was just with SideDish, I have always made my own dressings. And I was like, how can I bottle up this and make it easier? Because, you know, people are busy and they want to be able to grab something and just be able to go throw together dinner in 15 to 20 minutes on a busy weeknight. And so it's just a step closer to getting people to have dinner on the table with their family a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So
take us back to the very first moment you saw SideDish on a shelf at Whole Foods.
Oh my gosh.
How did it feel?
I mean, I freaked out. I was like doing cartwheels down I think we have footage of it. Definitely tears of joy. I just couldn't believe it. And it's been such a fun journey to see this little baby grow, even though it's been a lot of heartburn along the way. But finally getting to that point where we're like, okay, we can do this. There's like this light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And now people can walk through the store and get our products and be able to take it home and cook with it is exactly all that I want out of SideDish is for people to bring their families around the table more. So being able to see it on the shelves was huge. I still freak out when I see it on the shelves. I'm always like taking pictures.
It has to be so rewarding.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. And so it's really fun to see. And then sometimes I'll be walking through and I'll see someone kind of studying the bottle and I'm like, yes.
It's good.
They're looking at the ingredient list, which is, you know, what we pride ourselves on. So it's really fun to go in store and be able to see it there.
Oh, that has to be so rewarding.
Yeah, it is very rewarding, the most rewarding.
Well, and another thing that has to be rewarding along your journey is your social media following. So, I mean, the followers that you have on Instagram is impressive. I personally am drooling over the Green Goddess deviled eggs. That's next on my list of things to make.
That's a new one.
But can you talk a little bit about like how has social media and your approach there, like how have you thought about content creation and bringing your recipes and your products to life using social media?
Yes. You know, social media has evolved so much since I started too. Like how I originally started, kind of what I said earlier, it was like photos, go see the recipe. And now it's such this fun, interactive world. And I do feel like with the Defined Dish, I have really focused on building a community that is super strong and interconnected. And it's so fun to like go on book tours and see everyone just like interact with one another because we all care about a lot of the same things and have the same interests. And so with the Defined Dish, that's been so fun to see that community evolve. And so I'm really wanting with SideDish to build that community. Of course, there's like the Defined Dish loyals that have immediately come over there, but it's like, how do we let SideDish kind of stand on its own and build a new community as well? And so it's been fun with Defined Dish. I'm making these recipes, but with SideDish, it's so fun to have those like quick, snappy recipes that are like 5 ingredients or less. And I can have a little bit more fun with some like viral trends and stuff using our products. And so I kind of create Defined Dish stuff how I've always have, but it's really fun on SideDish to have this kind of like new, fun way to express myself with a bottle of sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does TikTok play a role in how you think about content?
TikTok is definitely something that I'm still learning.
Me too.
I'm kind of an old lady when I go over there. So I am trying to go over there and figure that out. But a lot of the time, especially with like Defined Dish, I'm making Instagram reels and then they'll also go over there. And I'm kind of like, I don't know if people are going to like this or not. I don't really, I'm kind of learning there. It is a lot of fun though. The more and more I play with it, but I do feel like something like SideDish has like a better place for TikTok as well too. Cause a lot of people really like those like snappy recipes. So it's fun. So no, I don't necessarily like prioritize TikTok on my list of things because Instagram has been a better space for me to share in the past. So I'm still kind of learning.
Yes. I'm totally with you.
I'm trying to evolve with all this and I'm like, and it's so rapidly changing. So I feel like, you can become, I love food and I love cooking so much that I don't want to make myself sick of it. And I don't want to like stop loving it because then I would lose a part of my identity. And so becoming just like a hamster on a wheel, creating content is something that I also have to like set some kind of boundaries for, or else all of this won't have the authentic love and like joy behind it that started it all.
Yeah.
So I really have to like check myself whenever I felt myself super burnt out by just being on the content creation wheel, just churning and burning, and kind of step back a little bit.
How do you balance it? I mean, it sounds fun and it sounds like the creative juices are always flowing, but then I also expect that there is some pressure to have content.
Oh yeah.
Keep going. So like, how do you balance those pressures?
I'm still kind of learning, but I feel like what I realized is my priority needs to be quality content versus quantity.
Yeah.
And if I'm only posting twice a week, 2 to 3 times a week, and that makes me still love what I'm doing and excited to create and excited to go make a new recipe and excited to share with the community that helped get me where I am today. Like that should be the premise of everything that I do, rather than just trying to keep up with the beast that is social media and feel like I'm just like in a road screaming at nobody. And it's like, I've kind of had to remind myself, I'm talking to my community, not to social media in general,
not
and like
screen.
Really kind of, and kind of focus that energy into like who kind of got me here. And if I can do that, like, I feel like word of mouth always goes, and like, maybe the growth is a little bit slower, but like, it's always there. And I'm at peace with that.
Yeah.
It's like being at peace with that rather than just getting a lot of numbers and getting millions of followers that really don't care as much about your content. They're just like there because you had some things pop off. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's for me what works. And so that's what I kind of have to remind myself of, like the why behind it all.
Yes.
And then I kind of step back and I pace myself out a little bit more, which helps.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, you can definitely feel the authenticity and the energy. And that care that you put into the content.
Thank you.
Overall. How do you think about AI?
Oh gosh.
Do you see that like having an impact on how you think about content?
I think it definitely will have an impact, especially for some of us who like really have like websites and blogs. I haven't really delved into how much of an impact that's going to have on me, but I know we shall see. But I think at the end of the day, I feel like the pendulum always swings, and I think people do crave human interaction and real people and this authentic bond that you have with people. And then, you know, as you cook recipes from someone, it's someone that you're like feel connected with. So my hope is that humans will still crave that energy, and it will swing back to that, even if it does get a little AI-y for a second.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Only time will tell.
Well, and I'll share with you, I mean, one of my favorite parts of working in food is that it's the ultimate connector. You've mentioned community a few times in our conversation. And to me, like food is what connects people and creates community. It's how you show love and care, which technology can't replace.
No, exactly. Yeah. Getting around the dinner table with your family is like the biggest, most important thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I guess going back to this point around balance, obviously now you've built a very successful business that you'll continue to scale. You also have this passion for recipes, for content creation. You also wear a lot of other hats in your life. Like, how do you personally think about balancing all of the areas that you're dabbling in?
I think for any entrepreneur, the most important thing is to put people around you and know your strengths. And so as I've grown, I'm not taking my own photos at night with a light box. Like I'm making sure that I am working during the day and having that time with my kids at night and outsourcing to the people that can help me. And I've put a small but very mighty team. Katie is super important. She's my COO of Defined Dish. She also helps out tremendously with SideDish as well. We just hired our first CEO for SideDish as well. And he has a lot of experience in the realm that I'm not familiar with. And again, it's like, I just think it's really important to know your strengths and be able to kind of share these platforms with other people that can help make it even stronger.
Yeah.
And so with SideDish, we're still very small and scrappy, but our priority is to build like a really strong team around us over the next couple of years, get our prices down and just continue to grow and make sure that people know about us.
Yes.
And so, and that's always been kind of the same with the Defined Dish too, is I've slowly learned to hand things off, be a better delegator so that I can be present with my family. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. And like none of this is worth it without like prioritizing my kids first. So
wonderful. Well, we generally end with a lightning round of questions.
oh gosh, I always freeze up on these. So wish me luck.
You got this. I can tell you got this. Before I jump into them, was there anything that we didn't cover yet that you want to share?
If we want to talk more about what all the flavors are.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about SideDish and your favorite flavors and how you use them? I'd love to hear that.
Twist my arm. Okay. So my original gals are creamy sesame,
Yes.
Chipotle ranch, and honey Dijon. Those were my first three that we did. Creamy sesame is, I don't like to pick favorites, but
I was just going to ask, do you have a favorite? Okay.
It's forever going to be my favorite. It's kind of like a peanut-free peanut sauce. It's definitely great like on like a peanut style salad or bowl. Like I'll do rice noodles, grilled chicken, greens, drizzle that on top. But I also will put it in a stir fry too. So that one's it's just got so much flavor. It's just a big bang for your buck. Chipotle ranch is great. I'll use it on coleslaw for like a shrimp taco or things like that too, other than just a salad. Honey Dijon's my kids' personal favorite because it's sweet and it's delicious. Yes. And while roast salmon with it, they dip their chicken nuggets with it. It's just a good go-to. And then of course we've got our newer ones. We have ranch because ranch, that took us a long time to get right. And it's the best healthy ranch out there, period. And then we have miso Caesar, which I really love for like lunches. I'll make wraps and salads and stuff with, but those kind of are more self-explanatory because ranch and Caesar.
Yes. Because you have to.
But a lot of people don't know how to use creamy sesame, but when they get it, they're hooked. So it's one of those things that I think is hard for the consumer walking down the aisle to be like, what do I do with that? But drizzle it on a bowl.
Yeah.
Make a stir fry, make a salad. It'll be your new best friend.
I was mentally taking notes.
Yeah. Creamy sesame's the babe.
She's the cutest one.
She's the cutest one in the bunch. My favorite child.
Okay, lightning round.
Okay.
And don't overthink it. Just go with your first
let's do it.
instinct. Okay. First question. Long form blog content or short form video?
I'm an old school gal. Blog.
All right.
But I do love a short video.
How do you stay inspired and keep your content fresh?
Traveling and exploring new restaurants, I think is the most inspiring.
Awesome.
And rest.
And rest. Do you have a favorite new restaurant?
Well, I live in Dallas. Are there any
or a favorite meal you've tried recently?
Whenever we were in New York last, we went and ate at I'm going to butcher this, Le Vue d'Or.
Okay.
And it's an old restaurant that's like has new management, and it was lovely. It's kind of that old school New York vibe, but good kind of classic French food. Very good.
Okay. I can't wait to try it.
We had a blast there.
I love it. How do you approach recipe development for people with dietary restrictions?
I feel like a lot of my recipes kind of cater to people that are looking for a dairy-free, gluten-free, grain-free. So most of them are already close to that. And if not, they're easily modified to be. Like if I use cheese, it's usually, for the most part, easily modified to either omit it or sub in like a dairy-free cheese. Same with the gluten-free and grain-free. So I feel like a lot of people that have dietary restrictions just evolved mine. And I feel like for me, I don't think about food that way. It's just my ingredient list is, the stuff that I kind of changed my pantry to. The almond flours, the cassava flours, and the arrowroot, which is weird at first to use, but once it becomes your pantry staples, it becomes your pantry staples.
Yes.
So,
and then it just becomes inclusive.
yeah. And you don't even think about it.
Yes. Are there food trends that you're excited about right now?
I think right now what I'm loving seeing, even with like the younger generations, is people are like entertaining again. Mm-hmm. And I love to sit at home and have a dinner party and do that. And I always have been, but I feel like people are kind of getting away from that. But I think it's the pendulum swinging back where people are craving that like at home entertaining style, which is so fun.
The connection.
Yeah. I love a dinner party.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah. So it's fun.
How about a kitchen hack?
Kitchen hack.
Or some tip that you swear by?
A tip that I swear by, I will say an immersion blender is like my favorite kitchen tool. And I think everyone needs to have one.
Yes. I love it for
Making
soups.
dressings, like homemade dressings, soups, all the things. So I guess right now off the top of my head, that'll be that.
Okay. I'll be dusting mine off.
Yeah. Great.
Is there a recipe that you're especially proud of?
Oh, all of them. I won't pick a favorite, but okay. One that was one of my favorites to make every year is my bottle of wine braised brisket.
Ooh.
It's on the blog from probably 2 Christmases ago, but you use a whole bottle of white wine and you just braise it all day, and it is a very impressive restaurant quality dish.
Okay.
It's good. It is simple.
I will try. I will try. It's very Texas. I love it.
Yes.
Any advice that you would give aspiring food bloggers?
I think looking back to like getting started, I think you kind of get started, then you kind of have to find your voice. So I think it's just getting started. And it's weird when you get started because it's your friends and family following you. Don't talk to them. Talk to who you are trying to reach rather than them. And it's weird at first. They might make fun of you. Shout out to some of my friends who were a-holes for a while. But they all now are like, yeah, we were wrong. But yes, it's awkward at first, but really talk to that person that you're trying to reach rather than your family and friends, because it is awkward. And then find your voice as you go and kind of like see what works and what people are coming to you for. And then you'll get more comfortable as you go.
Yeah. It has to be interesting too for your family and friends to see you showing up in this new way or other side of you.
It's still weird.
All right. Crazy. Last question. What's next for Side Dish? Is there anything upcoming that you're excited about and can share?
Yeah, we have some new products that will hopefully be coming to the shelves in the next year-ish. So we've been working a lot in the test kitchen, and they're getting tasty. So hopefully you'll be seeing more delicious salad dressings from us. We've got a lot of vinaigrettes in the works right now.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciated hearing your story, Alex. And just getting some context behind how you think about things, like your approach to healthy cooking. It's both accessible, it helps simplify things, it's also delicious. And I took so many tips away from our conversation today. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Board, where we highlight the people and products shaping the future of food and wellness. Until next time, keep cooking and creating with purpose.